Hello, nerds. Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your Week in Nerdom, your source for nerdy news updates twice a week, right here on Generally Nerdy. In this episode, we are talking about Slipknot's infighting, Titan's epic casting announcement, and the Fox-Disney merger is finally closing. All that plus more, and let's hit the intro. First, because you are watching on Generally Nerdy, we are talking music, because that is how the Week in Nerdom always starts. And in music, I kind of led with this in the intro. We're talking about Slipknot, and one of their percussionists, Chris Fehn, I believe is how you say that actually, not Fane. I don't know where I got that from. He's suing the band. It's so apparently all of their merch sales were supposed to be funneled. Merch, and I think there might have been something else attached to it, were supposed to have been funneled through one company that would then disperse all of the money, all of the earnings to each individual band member. Well, it seems that Chris Fehn, again, I don't know why I keep saying Fehn, Chris Fehn has reportedly found a number of other companies that they are using for licensed material, and he hasn't seen any of that money. So he's suing his bandmates, and Corey Taylor took to Twitter kind of denying it, saying that Chris doesn't, implying, I guess, rather, that Chris doesn't quite see the whole picture. Chris has also apparently blamed the mishandling of the money on the two band leaders, both Sean Crahan and Corey Taylor. Next up is a piece about a band we don't really talk a whole lot about on the show, and that's Hellyeah. We don't generally talk about Hellyeah because I really am not a big fan of their music, though this might actually change that slightly. They're finally gearing up to put out their last record with recordings from Vinnie Paul. This will be actually the last things that Vinnie Paul recorded. The record still doesn't have a name and does not have an official release date just yet, though we did see the first single released today as I'm filming, so yesterday as you're watching this. The name of the track is 333. You can find a link to that down low in the description, and it's actually not that bad. So their first record was decent, wasn't terrible. I honestly couldn't really stomach much of the stuff that they've put out since then, especially since Greg Tribbett, the guitar player who was once in Mudvayne, since he left the band, it's really not been my flavor of heavy music. But this song, I kinda dug it. Let's jump into TV news, and Deadline has the word, which normally we get these things from that hashtag show because they usually have the inside on a lot of casting, but this time it's coming from Deadline, and without burying the lead, we have a pretty epic Titans casting. We talked a couple of episodes about how they're looking to cast Deadshot and his daughter. Well, now it sounds like they have finally found their Slade Wilson. Reportedly, Esai Morales, who you will probably remember from the sci-fi series Caprica, as well as currently in Ozark on Netflix, he is going to be playing the big foe for the Titans. Next up is one for all of the food nerds out there. Master Chef and all-around awesome dude, Jacques Pepin, is going to be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Daytime Emmys when they air, I believe it's later this month. Pepin will be the first culinary-minded TV star to receive such an award, and honestly, it's about damn time. Then we have a little update coming from the South by Southwest Film Festival. The pilot episode for Nosferatu was shown to a small audience during the festival last week. And reports are now coming out about the series and how it's going to be tied into another Joe Hill series that is hopefully going to be seeing the light of day sometime this year, Locke and Key. It also is going to be tied in somehow with his father, Stephen King, is going to be tied in with his book, It. They're going to somehow be part of one shared universe, though if it goes past more than just a passing reference, that still remains to be seen. Shifting gears now into movies, we got an update from Marvel about their first Asian protagonist solo superhero movie. A lot of qualifying words. Shang-Chi will reportedly be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. They already have a script which was penned by Dave Callahan sometime at the end of last year. So around about December of last year was when the script was finalized. So now they have a director, and next up comes the casting. Speaking of Marvel, we finally have a date for the finalization of the Fox buyout. March 20th, yes, just a few days from now, is the date. Mexico was the last hurdle that they had to go over, and that just cleared a few days ago. So does that mean we will be seeing at least an Easter egg in Endgame for the new MCU X-Men? That news is all well and good, but what does that mean for all of the Fox Marvel movies that are in some sort of early development? Well, there is now word that the potential awesome that is Noah Hawley's Doctor Doom movie. Noah Hawley is the showrunner and creator of the Legion series over on FX. That movie is still in production and is actually making a little headway. Kind of. Noah Hawley did a panel at South by Southwest in which he talked about the fact that the script has been finalized. However, the impending merger has put everything on hold, though it's not completely at a loss just yet, because Hawley also said that he has talked directly with Feige. Actually, Feige contacted him initially about the status of his Doctor Doom movie. Next up is actually an update from the other side of the world. China's first mainstream science fiction movie, The Wandering Earth, has just been named that country's second highest grossing film. The film did see a limited release here stateside, so if you have the opportunity, I suggest you go see it. But if you're like the rest of us, then you're just gonna have to wait for it to come out on video on demand. And this is newsworthy because China really isn't a major player in the film world as far as worldwide box office is concerned. So the fact that this saw stateside theaters and is doing so well even just locally is pretty big. And then our last bit of news is a quickie bit about Sony's Deadshot adaptation. Word is coming from multiple sources that the Vin Diesel-fronted movie, which is due out in February, is going to be the first in a 5-movie shared universe utilizing the Valiant line of characters. Now we move on to gaming, and this time, again, we only have one update that was newsworthy, and that actually comes from the studio that brought us Left 4 Dead. Not Valve, that's the distributor, that's the big money behind it, but the people who actually made it, the name of that studio is Turtle Rock Studios, and they're kind of circumventing the system a little bit, because Valve is not bringing us Left 4 Dead 3 anytime soon, apparently. The folks over at Turtle Rock Studios are giving us a little something in that vein called Back 4 Blood. Now, the basic description of the game sounds very familiar, but the studio has gone on record saying that this property will be a quote, very different IP, unquote, from what they did in the Left 4 Dead series for Valve. And then we are rounding out the episode just like we always do with comic book news. And first thing in comic book news, we're revisiting that Bloodshot information we got in movies. And it seems that Valiant Comics will be relaunching the Bloodshot series. The new series is going to be written by Tim Seeley and art by Brett Booth. It should be hitting shelves this September, so we're going to get quite a few episodes before the Vin Diesel movie out in February. And our last bit of news is about a Dark Horse book. So nothing from the big two. I mean, again, there's plenty of stuff that happens in the Marvel world. There's just, without spoiling a lot of stuff or reviewing a lot of stuff, it's difficult to cover that. So again, as I get used to the new format, we will be expanding on most of these categories. So Matt Wagner, who is an Eisner Award-winning author, is returning to his series that he started in the 80s on a very different comic book label. The series is Grendel. This new story will be subtitled Devil's Odyssey and will be starting to hit shelves on October 2nd. And that does it for this episode of Your Week in Nerddom, guys. What did I miss? What should we talk about for the beginning of next week? Let me know in the comments down low. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, there is a website, generallynerdy.net. That is where you can find all of the freebies and the social media links. Also, a lot of those links are down in the description, so don't hesitate to click on those links. There is also a Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy. You can go there if you want to go even deeper into the conversation, or if you want just more content in general. That all exists up on the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/generallynerdy. If you are new to the channel, though, definitely click the subscribe button, ring that bell so you get the notifications when I post a new video. This new format, I am posting almost as frequently as I was before, just they're not all Week in Nerddom videos, so I feel like the variety has been helped by the change in formats. If you like these videos, then click that thumbs up. If not, there is a thumbs down. If you are falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, then you can click or tap that box right there to the left of my face to do that. But before you click that box and visit the websites and do all of the stuff, guys, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.